On the voting tip, Michelle Obama was pissed, and I see a lot of today, no agenda, no vote. If there's no reparations, no vote. Like there's a lot of push this cycle for people to stay home again. How do we combat that, Allison? How are we gonna, Ashley? Excuse me. How do we combat that?
Yeah, I mean, I think I used to work in the Obama White House. I'm a lifelong voter. I vote in every single election I can, even if there's only one surrogate judge on the ballot. So I know that it's not necessarily me who needs to be persuaded, but I do have cousins who, I say this all the time. I'm an Obama kid. You can't talk about my family. I may be able to talk about them, but it's like some people's lives never were bad under Bush. We're bad under Obama and are the same under Trump. And we do have to wake up. We have to realize that as people who work in public service, also the politicians, we cannot just rely on the Black community over and over, and particularly Black women, to show up. But I do think we also need to realize is that while our economic situations might not have changed, like this is a matter of life and death, literally. Like we are trapped in our homes right now because of poor leadership. And so no candidate is perfect, but we have to show up and vote. And I understand why people feel like the system doesn't work, but the best way to get the system to work for you is to be a part of it.
Actually,
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
No, you go.
Actually, this is Drew. When I was trying to get African Americans to participate in being surveyed and being counted for things, one of the things that I said to my advertising agency is I don't need Black folks like the Black folks in this room. I said I need you to go out, because I was talking to a Black advertising agency. I want you to help me find my cousin who does not read the paper, who does not read the news. I need you to help me get a different subset of the Black community, and I want you to help me engage them in a way that's not disrespectful, that's not appropriative, that is not that honors them and respects them for where they are in sort of in a certain understanding. And I want you to come back and help me do that. What's the game plan for? You said you're an Obama kid. You said you vote at every for dog catcher. I do the exact same thing. I think we're not the demo that is going to be potentially the turning point for this next election. How do we get those other folks? And how do we do it in a way that's not talking down to them, that's not, trying to tell them what to do?
Well, the reality is, like, those conversations should have happened in 2016 for 2020. Part of the problem is that people come in right now or come in a week. You are using me if you just come when you need me. Like that's what being used is. I know that. And you should need nothing from me when you are present in my community. And if you do need something and I give it to you, reciprocity must happen. And when I need something for you, you must give it back to me. So I am not the target demographic, as you said, but I do know, like, we're talking about this in the census. We're talking about this when we're talking about voting right now. Voting is going to be real different this year. We're in the middle of a pandemic. People are going to have to vote by mail. Black people don't trust the Postal Service, research has shown. So we need to start working now, not in October, talking about vote by mail, how to make it accessible, how to make it. And when people are putting policies in place to have vote by mail in Georgia or in Wisconsin or in my home state of Ohio, go to the community and say, what would make you feel more comfortable? Not this is the policy that will work for you. What would make you feel more comfortable to vote by mail in the era of a pandemic? That's what our organization does. But then also, like, okay, you went out and you voted for Obama. Why? I honestly want to know why. Was it because he was a Black man? Did your life change? Why didn't you go? Don't be mad because you didn't get a vote for Hillary Clinton, but why didn't you vote for Hillary Clinton? Be inquisitive, actually care about people's answers, and have people be a part of the solution. So often, I'm in Washington, D.C., we have I live by Shirley Chisholm's statement that, like, everyone should have a seat at the table, and if you don't bring a folding chair, I need to make sure I have power that everybody has a chair. It shouldn't be on somebody else's responsibility to bring a seat to the table. I need to create a space. If I'm not a formerly incarcerated person, then I need to make sure there is someone formerly incarcerated at the table that's deciding policies on what happens to people in prison right now. If I don't have a child or a single mom, then I need to make sure that single mom is a part of the process from beginning. Unfortunately, that's not the way our system is set up, but our organization and many of other civil rights organizations are trying to make that change.
Ashley Allison is here. Drew McCaskill is here. She is the Executive Vice President of Campaigns and Programs for the Leadership Conference on Civil and Human Rights. So convince people to vote in 2020, in May of 2020, to come show up in November by mail. Come on. If you got your parent, your father to give you the record collection, I know you can convince some people.
Listen, if when they murdered Michael Brown, that wasn't enough, when they put kids in cages and took them away from their moms and dads on the border, that wasn't enough. But you personally are being impacted right now. Every single day, your life is on the line with this virus. There is a virus spreading across our country and the world that is taking the lives of Black people at disproportionate rates. It does not discriminate. It can come to your family. It can come to your front door. This is life or death. This is not the history story about what happened in the South when people were fighting the civil rights movement. This is our moment to have our voices made. Show up, do a couple clicks here and there. If you can scroll on Twitter, if you can click on Facebook, if you could do a TikTok, you can ask for an absentee ballot. You can fill it out. You can send it back, and you can save your life.
Okay, so I'm in line to get a pair of Jordans, and I'm at the mall. I'm at Family Dollar. I don't have a mask on. I don't give a F about Corona. I'm doing Easter egg hunts and house parties. You're not reaching me right now.
Then I need to go get my girls on Love and Hip Hop, and maybe they can reach you. I need to go get Megan Thee Stallion. We're doing a concert actually later this week with Megan Thee Stallion, Common, Nas. I don't have to reach you, but somebody will, and I will lift up every rock and flip over everything I need to find the right person. It might not be me. It might not be a celebrity or influencer. It might be your mom. It might be your grandma. It might be your best friend. But I'm going to tell that person, and then they're going to tell that person until we convince. And guess what? I don't have to convince you today because I'm going to come back tomorrow and the next day and the next day, and you're going to get sick of me because you're going to have to vote. I know I'm not the perfect messenger for everybody, but that's why this show is important, all the work we do on social media and in communities and churches. You can't go to barbershops right now, well, you can in some states. But we're going to find you where you are. We got messages on Save-A-Lot receipts. We got people inserts in the Target bag. You're going to see it, and hopefully you will be convinced. And look, you know, this is America, so you have a choice. You literally have a choice. But don't come on November 4th, 2020, talking about, I can't believe this if you didn't vote. It's too late at that point. It really, really is. There is something better out there for our community, and we deserve a chance to see what it is.